Okay, let's see if everything works properly. Okay, in theory, everything should be okay. Now, it's almost the end of April. Yes, normally I am supposed to do this at the beginning of the month, but the point is that at the beginning of April there wasn't much to be discussed. For the simple fact that since all the issues I had at the beginning of this beautiful year, so the whole first trimester of 2026, I am like quite rushing, trying to make all the videos I have to make because like I planned a schedule at least to finish to publish all the videos concerning Duolingo because Duolingo managed to update once more its beautiful course. Now, it's nothing big. I checked a bit, all same issue. The only thing is that now they added. Okay, maybe they added a little bit more stories and adventures, but like not much. And also chat with Lily. However, if you want to chat with Lily, you have to pay cash. So again, not much for free content. Also because like talk with Lily is an basically they trained an AI maybe. So you can speak to Lily, but given how they trained the AI to do the rest of the course, I'm like, not sure it's worth paying. But anyway, so there isn't much. Like I was like, oh, maybe I'm going to talk about some changes are coming for the channel. Not yet. They're not ready yet. We're going to hopefully present them in May, latest possible. I hope in June. Anyway, I said, so I don't really have much to talk about. The only thing that happened is the thing about Duolingo. We talked about it in the Discord chat, but besides that, there wasn't much. So I said, maybe I'm going to skip it and I'm going to like just do the one in May if something happen, if something changes. However, the workers working on my roof were like, don't worry, boo, gotcha. Going to give you something to talk about. So, yeah. And thus, here we are. What happened is something very, very recent. And with very, very recent, I mean, happened this week. So, what happened? It was, okay, a little bit of prologue to give the context. I moved to France to live with Alex in 2023. The first time I came here was 2022, but I still had to finish my thesis. So I had to go back in 2023 at the beginning. I got my degree and then I officially moved here with all the documentation and everything. So I officially legally moved to France. Now, that said, since the whole point was to stay in this apartment some years, the whole point was to aim at an apartment that was freshly renovated. And in fact, the person who rented us this apartment told us, yeah, it was renovated like this year, like freshly new and whatnot. It wasn't perfect, but I mean, anyway, like it's not that we wanted to buy it or anything, it's just that to be good enough. And for the city we live in, it was good enough because this is a very rainy and windy city. And the majority of the places we visited were almost not even legal because they had a lot of infiltration of water and air, so like not good, like very unhealthy, like dangerous for your health sort of situation. And you basically had if you wanted better apartments, you either had to go in buttfuck nowhere but we don't have the car here because our families have the car, but in Italy. So here wouldn't have been doable. Or also because, like, due to my health issues, we want to be as close as possible to the city. And also, the other option was if you go live in the center, you have to go in the newly renovated apartments, which are like one studio, so like a room. Generally, you have a big room where you have everything, and then you have the bathroom, and mayhaps perchance you have a balcony. So you end up paying 2,000 euros per month for like one room, which is like not worth it. Anyway, that said, here it was good position, good apartment and whatnot. Okay. Not even 1 year passed, we find out that actually the renovation were done like with ass. So very badly done. There was not only a leak from the roof, but also a leak from the pipes of the bathroom. Luckily, we didn't get as impacted as our neighbors, because the neighbors from the apartment below us had it worse because a giant bubble of water formed on the ceiling and then exploded on them. Like the whole apartment was in pitiful state. And that said, it was like, okay, so you have the infiltration from the pipes and infiltration from the water. The issue is that this is an old house, so many walls, like the oh my god, how they are called, like the walls holding up the house are made in, yeah, of course, part in brick, part in stone, but also a lot of wood, and we all know that wood doesn't like water because it rots. So what happened is that they took something like 1 year to fix the pipes and 2 years to start fixing the roof. So Alex moved here in October 2022. We started to have issues like around half of 2023. And in October 2025, so 3 years after Alex moved alone, and almost 2 years after, more than 2 years after we started to have issues, they decided to finally redo the roof. Did they finish? No, they did not finish, because otherwise I wouldn't be telling this story. So they started in October to redo something like 20 meters square of roof, give or take, I don't know. Imagine a house, like an apartment which is in the attic, having the rooftop, like the roof exactly above, and the house is 40 meter squares. I leave you to do the math. Not much. Surely not more than 6 months of work. Technically much less, but they took something like 5 months, 6 probably, to do only one side. Now they are doing the other one. Now, on the other side, we have the stairs. And when we moved, one of the issues we had that was like clear leakage is that for some fucking reason, they left a hole in the roof. Like, I'm not kidding. You take the roof and there was a square sewed away where it was just raining inside. So we had one wall of the entrance which was rotting. The door, because it's in wood, partially. The door, which is in wood, which was rotting, or at least inflating. And the stairs, which are in wood, inflating and rotting. So, not the best. Luckily, at a certain point, Alex's parents came to visit, and Alex's father was very nice to us and fixed the hole. So basically, with some plexiglass and some silicone, he managed to fill the hole, like at least block it. And we didn't have any more water inside. So in fact, the stairs, the door and the wall came back to normal. Of course, they still have the stains of mold rotting and whatnot, which is not expanding, but which stained like with color the wall and the walls, because also in the stairs, and the door. But besides that, under control. Now, back to the workers. The workers started to work on the other side of the roof 1-2 months ago, give or take. Already the way they work is 10 out of 10. So like they are working on a structure allowing them to reach the roof. I never saw them with any security rope, or at least if it's there, it's not very visible. So mayhaps perchance, I don't know. As far as I saw, security is not their priority. And then they leave all the tools just on the structure, dangling around. Now, we had storms with like, I don't know, 100 kilometers per hour wind, okay, with things that in fact fell down the structure. All the tools are completely rusted. So imagine packs of nails rusting in the wind and the rain. Same thing for the tools, and every now and then some of these objects flying in the wind. So like very safe for everybody out there. Anyway, so this just to put in perspective the way these guys are working. That said, what changed? Like, you might say, what can go worse? Like, someone fell down. Luckily, as far as I know, nobody fell down, at least not while I was present. And, however, the other day I was about to leave the house, and I start hearing like them hammering. We come back, it was like Friday, it was like Wednesday or something like that. We come back home, and there was the little window Alex's father made for us to avoid the rain entering from the roof, completely shattered. So you had these pieces, the shatters of plexiglass all around the stairs, pieces of the wall, rusting nails, all like this, like candies, like flowers on a bed, like petals in the air. And I want to point out that not only we have a cat, not only we have to pass there, but in the same building there are parents with little children, there are people with dogs, cats, animals. Not only people, like adults, could end up wounded with these things, but also animal and little children. So like, I don't know how to convey more the problematic of this behavior. Anyway, we come back, but we're ready to have it +1 it, because the day after, Alex goes to work and whatnot, I'm about to leave the house as well, and I keep hearing this hammering. I am on my way to leave, and luckily I waited for a moment, because the guys literally hammer a hole in the roof, and from the roof a piece of concrete, stone, conglomerate of the roof falls down the stairs. There was nobody, like there wasn't a warning, there wasn't someone on the stairs like telling like, oh miss, by the way, you have to wait a moment before going down the stairs, because otherwise you might be hit by pieces of the roof falling, because we are hammering like no tomorrow for some fucking reason and no logic. So like, luckily I managed to dodge that, but the stairs were already in a pitiful state, even worse than the day before. I go to school, I talk to some of my friends, and I was like, is this legal in France? Like, no, because in Italy we have, laws that technically tell you that you need to have some security measures and you can do shit like that. And they were like, no, it's not legal. So we contact the landlord, and they're like, guys, are you trying to kill us? Like, we are paying the rent. Why that? And the landlord was like, oh, we didn't know it was happening. It shouldn't be happening. It's like, oh, I'm very relieved. I'm very relieved to know that you are not trying to kill me. But still, so, and you might think, okay, so they solved it. No. So with the landlord, we end up with, okay, we are going to talk to the workers and see what's up. The day after, once again, Alex leaves to go to work. I am on my way as well after him. And at certain point, I start hearing sewing noises, like circles, so something like that, but like sewing noises. Again, hammering. And at certain point, I hear a fucking loud crash. They had the turtles, the cat, myself, all like everybody in this house lost 5 years of life. And I heard them. This really sounded like 1 meter square of roof falling on the stairs. And in fact, guess what? I open the door of my house and I, in fact, see a beautiful square now in the roof from which beautiful daylight is entering, and a panel of roof fell on the stairs in diagonal. Now, my stairs are spiral shaped. They are very hard to already climb, but also to descend because they are quite tall. Due to consumption and everything, not all stairs are the same height, and they are very thin, like as in there isn't much space on the steps to go down, mainly because they are rectangle, like trapezoid, the triangle shaped, so they are larger near the wall and smaller near the part of the stair where you hold yourself to avoid falling. Now, what is the problem? That I had this block stopping me. Almost. I had like 5 centimeters of step left in the part where it is the most narrow, near the part where you hold yourself. Other 3 problems. Not only I had this big panel, but all the other pieces of the roof which fell down, plus I had the dust which was making the steps even more slippery. And then I also had the part where you hold yourself full of dust, so that was slippery as well. I still managed to go down. How I did not die? Probably because I have a very invested guardian angel. At this point, he's invested in the TV series It Is My Life, probably. So he's like, I think I will keep you alive because it's kind of interesting to see where this is going. And luckily, when we came back, they cleaned everything. Because I swear to God, when I showed it to Alex is like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, listen, if we come back and they didn't clean, I'm going to call the firefighters and ask the firefighters to clean. And then it's going to be a problem of the company and of the landlord dealing with all this mess. So right now, what is the situation? They clean the stairs. They will keep working. They installed a window which is like installed not at its best. Like, I'm not sure how insulated the frame is. It's not as easy to close because it's like one of those windows specifically made for rooftops where you tilt them to open and close them. The issue is that it is on the roof. So it's not that easy to close and open it. So we'll see if we are going to receive like a rope or something, a stick to open and close this window, because of course when it's going to rain we'll need to close it, because right now it's open. Now, so I had also this adventure. I am working hard to set up all the videos left of Duolingo. I will keep going with Sanremo Music Festival songs analysis, and and then after I finish that, I will take back the list of requests from for the songs, and at a certain point I will be able to present you what is going to change, because once I will finish Duolingo's videos and the videos for Sanremo Music Festival songs analysis, there will be a change. Can't wait to present it, but with all the fact that I fell a bit behind with school projects and I have to make the videos and everything is going to be a little bit more time that I expected. So, that said, I hope that my adventures are being entertaining. I swear to God, this format is becoming basically the video version of the footnotes of the authors of AO3, if you know what I mean. If you don't, check it out on Google. Anyway, that said, see you again in the next update vlog in May. I don't know when. We'll see according to what happens and what I have to tell you all. That said, let me know in the comments if you ever had any similar adventure with people like destroying your roof. I hope you enjoyed. Grazie everyone for watching, and arrivederci.